So because I've mentioned this in the past couple videos, the lip liner of the year. This is by VIEVE in the shade Brat. It's called the Modern Lip Definer, and it's a pinky brown lip liner. That's all. It's just a pinky brown lip liner, but I have it on right now. It's my favorite pinky brown lip liner. It's not too pink and it's not too brown, but it's also not too beige or nude. A lot of times when I'm looking for a natural lip liner, it will be like concealer, lining my lips with concealer. The formula's great. It's not too creamy where you feel like it's sliding around, but it's not so matte that your lips get dry and flaky after a couple hours of wear. And I feel like it fades really nice too. Since we're talking about lips, I'll talk about the 3 lipsticks. Why am I holding this? I meant to attach the mic for this video so that I could have my hands free, but I don't think it's gonna work. This lipstick does not exist. Technically, they do not make it anymore. It's by Marc Jacobs. It was this nude collection that he came out with, and this is called Understudy. This is the lipstick I wore on my wedding day. The very same one. I do believe when I was searching for this and kind of searching for a dupe for this, because you will see my other lipstick choices, they are trying to be this, or at least trying to be similar to this. I do think there's one on eBay. It's a good amount of pink without going into the pink category. You can definitely tell that there's some brownie nude going on, that it's peach leaning, and it went perfectly with my color palette for my wedding. This with the lip liner I'm wearing right now, I probably should have done that. I wanted something kind of nude because I felt like I did a lot with my eyes today. Looking now, I didn't do that much. The next one was really trying to be a dupe of that one, and this is by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it's called Peach Bud. This is very similar to that one, but much more nude and much more peach. I think one of the big differences is there is a brightness that the Marc Jacob has that this does not, but this is a beautiful nude peach, and again, with the VIEVE lip liner, everything with the VIEVE lip liner. This is a Lisa Eldridge lipstick. I think this is described as a buttery peach. Why am I saying buttery? Does it even say buttery? Or a caramel? So this is a peach with a caramel tone. Looking at it right now, it looks like a Milani lipstick I used to really like. So this one is a much darker, I would say a more grounded peach, a darker peach. This isn't as nudie. This brings a lot of life to the face. Something I like about this one, it's beautiful with the lip liner, but with nothing, just swiping it on. It has kind of a balmy texture, and it's like the perfect lip balm on its own. Oh, and it's called Kitten Mischief. I don't think I said that. The blushes. Let's just get into the blushes. I am so into cream blush. I tried a couple liquid blushes last year because there was a flower. There was a blush by Flower Beauty that was a liquid blush. I believe it was called the Flower Balm. I could be making that up. But the peach, I believe it was called Nectar. It was a gorgeous shade, flawless, user-friendly. I would just swipe it on, pat it out. Gorgeous glow. You couldn't really overdo it because it was such a light color. So I remember enjoying them so much that I was going to make the rounds again and try to find an awesome liquid, the theme of last year, me trying to find the best of the best. They were a letdown. I think I've come to the conclusion that I like the way a cream blush applies. Sometimes with a liquid blush, besides the Flower Beauty one, you just don't know what you're going to get. Should I put it on the back of my hand and stamp it and kind of work it into the bristles of the brush and then go for it? Or if that doesn't work, should I just slap it on the cheek, say a prayer? With cream blush, I don't have that problem. I dip in, I usually do kind of work it on the back of my hand, and then I go for it. And these are the ones I've been wearing all year. So the Tower 28, I believe this is my second one of these. The shade is Golden Hour, and it's a poppy orange blush. That sounds really scary, and if you dip hard in this, it is scary. But no, it's not scary. On my skin tone, it looks like I've been in the sun, like I'm slightly sunburned in the best way. Armis Beauty. I discovered these last year. I have the shades Spell, which is pretty much gone. I tried to use it today, and because of how there's only a tiny bit in the edges, it's really hard to get to at this point. I would probably have to scrape it off and maybe put it on a makeup palette to really use up the entirety. But this one is kind of like a bronzer. It's a rosy brown. It's not as bronzing. If you look at it on the website, it's not as bronzing as I thought it was going to be. It does have a good bit more rose, but it's such a natural, flushy blush that I feel like would suit a lot of skin tones. So what I was doing this summer when I accidentally got really, really tan for real, not a fake tan for real, freckles coming out, hyperpigmentation, craziness. What I was doing was mixing this with the other shade I have called Smile, and this is like a 60s punchy peach. Whereas this is an orange. This is peach, but in a 60s mod way. You see how it's almost leaning pastel? Doing this one first, kind of like a bronzer, and then just for a pop, or if you just need a little more because you're so tan that nothing's showing up, this on top with the VIEVE lip liner in Peach Bud. Match made in heaven. It's not really a match, is it? That's 3. A color story made in heaven. Also by Armis Beauty is my bronzer of the year. This is the ReDimension Hydra bronzer. This is the shade Bikini Beach. I also have Malibu Muse, which is kind of a light amber undertone. And then I have Tan Lines, which is supposed to be a neutral. But I do feel like it's a bit, which maybe this is common for neutral shades. I feel like it's a bit golden yellow for me. Bikini Beach, and look how much I've used. You can't see the pan, but you can see through the pan. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I'm actually getting anything when I try to wear this. I can't really tell because I put a little bit on today, but I was being very light-handed, which isn't really like me. I'm usually beyond heavy-handed with blush and bronzer. And maybe the reason it looks like I'm being light-handed is because there is nothing going on my face. This is refillable. I definitely want to repurchase this in the new year. This is a reddish dark brown. I found that on my skin tone, even when it comes to self-tanners, that golden looks a little bit odd, olive looks a little bit odd, and the tones that suit me are either reddish or just straight brown. That's exactly what this is. The formula is a gel to powder. It's so forgiving, it's so flattering. It blends out so easily, even if your skin is still a little tacky from your moisturizer or from your BB cream or foundation or tinted SPF. This just glides. It just glides right over. I do have 2 new eyeshadow palettes that I got last year. One I got for Christmas. It's by Victoria Beckham. And one I got, I believe, toward the end of summer. But this is what I've been wearing most of all. This is by Bobbi Brown. It's the Cream Shadow Stick. Is that the official name? Long Wear Cream Shadow Stick. And this is in the shade Toffee. This is the perfect neutral kind of sandy beige that I'm really, really into. It's not too cool. It doesn't lean too white or ivory. It's also not too brown or warm. It's just the perfect neutral. I had 2 more shades that I wound up returning because they were kind of dark and I couldn't figure out how I would use them because they were so dark that how I use this, I just literally, I go like this and I take my finger because it has just enough playtime for you to work with it. It's malleable. It's soft. It's easy to blend with just your finger. You could use a brush, I'm sure. I really enjoy using my hands, but I will go like this all the way, almost all the way up, and then I'll just kind of smear it out. And it makes the texture of my lid look nice. And it adds just enough depth where I don't look like I have nothing going on. But you can't quite tell. Does she just have beautiful lids? You know, maybe it's Maybelline. This has made me less into powder eyeshadow. The mascara of the year, this is my third tube, I had brown, then black, and then brown again. This is by Tower 28. It's the MakeWaves mascara. The shade is called Drift. It's a beautiful brown, and it has enough black. It doesn't just look like a light black. It looks brown, but it's a good kind of dark mocha brown. It's a brown mascara, y'all. I think this one is coming to the end of its life. That sounded more morbid than it had to be. It will start to clump a bit like it did today. I'm surprised I didn't talk about this first. This is the RMS Supernatural Radiance Serum SPF 30. It's a tinted sunscreen, and this is in the shade medium. This is very, very dark in my opinion for a medium shade. There is something about my skin tone. I know this sounds crazy. Other people will review a product and say it has 0 white cast, and they appear to be my shade or a little bit darker. I don't know if it's how it interacts with my skin tone, but there will be the white cast will be so intense that it will be purple. And even if I cover it up with a cream bronzer or a powder bronzer, I will find that throughout the day, the white cast will break through my makeup and I'll have this odd ghostly appearance. So I kind of have to go darker than I think. But this has been fantastic. It has a light citrus smell going on. On me, all tinted sunscreens kind of smell like you've been laying in a tanning bed and your skin has burned. That flesh smell, or a self tanner that has started developing that weird smell. They all smell like that on me. This tube smells like that on me. It's just the price I'm willing to pay at this point. So if you've seen any of my old videos where I used to use the ABH Brow Freeze, I feel like I have finally found that perfect in the middle formula. The Brow Freeze, just as it says, it freezes your brows. This also kind of freezes your brows, but it's not quite as stiff, and it doesn't have that flaky buildup that the ABH can get. If you're getting to the end of the product, it can get flaky, or if it's just slightly dried out or a little bit old, it can get flaky and it looks like you have dandruff in your eyebrows. This doesn't do that. This is the Kosas Air Brow, and I just have the clear. And what I used to do with the ABH, because I saw other people do it and it worked best for me, is I would stick my brows straight up and freeze them, and I would kind of comb it over so they weren't too werewolf looking, and then I would take brow powder and just fill in the gaps. I do the same thing with this. I am using the RMS Back2Brow Powder, and this is in the darkest shade. It's also really good, and it's not very waxy, but it does have some holding power. So you don't really have to have a brow gel. I just find that putting this on beforehand, it almost turns the powder into fibers where they have something to grab onto. So when I do both, I just feel like it gives my brows a thickening effect. But if you just use the Back2Brow, and your brows aren't crazy and they don't stick up everywhere, you just have normal brows, that's really all you need. This was my most worn piece of jewelry in 2025. It's this charm necklace that I got from Madewell. I'm really into charm necklaces and lockets. I feel like this is a dopamine piece for me. I don't feel like it stands out that much, but it has been a conversation starter. I get compliments. People want to see what's on here. It's a blue pendant, a heart, some cherries. I like that there's a red chili pepper in here, just stuck in the middle of nowhere. They just threw a red chili pepper. I like that. And then a star. And I really like it if I'm wearing my denim flats and I want to bring some more blue to the outfit, that this has that blue pendant. And I have worn this recently. I mean, I'm going to wear it all year round, but it does kind of scream summer to me. This has been fun. I do the same thing with these pearls. My mom gave these to me, and it was a gift from my dad. I don't know if it was anniversary, wedding, a birthday. I don't know. I just know it was a gift. And at the time, I guess she was, not at the time, years and years and years later, I guess she felt like she wasn't wearing these enough and wanted to give them to somebody who would. And I've been wearing these a lot this year. I do the same thing when I wear my cream flats and I want to bring some more cream in the outfit. I'll throw these on top and it just gives it some balance. These are probably the earrings of every year. I just like that they have a vintage feel. They're braided. I think they're beautiful. And this I got for Christmas from David. I love lockets. I love anything that has an old vintage feel to it. And he got me a locket. It has a cursive C on the front. And I'm not sure what picture I want to put inside yet. I'm looking at my notes. For skincare, I have 3 things that I really enjoyed. The first one is the Beekman Potato Peel. I feel like it's the perfect exfoliant for me. If glycolic acid is a bit too extreme for you, but you just want something that is going to give you a glow. I especially like it after I've shaved my face. I find that my upper lip can be sensitive, and after I've shaved my face, I can get some blemishes and some bumps. If I put the potato peel on top after I've shaved my face, because you can leave it for 5 to 20 minutes. I like to do about 5 to 8 minutes. I never do 20 because I don't want to go that hard because skin barrier. So now my routine is after I shave my face, I do the potato peel. It comes out like a serum. I think that's another reason I really like it, because glycolic acid is just liquidy. And I always feel like I'm doing not enough or too much. I can't get it down right. But with the serum, I just do a very thin layer. You can feel a slight sting when you first put it on. That's pretty common with actives anyway. My lip is good. The lip is not breaking out, I guess because it kind of goes into your pores and really cleans everything out. So been loving that. And then a milky toner and the matching moisturizer. I don't know if I'm going to say this right. Haruharu Wonder Black Rice Probiotic Barrier Essence Milky Toner. I think that's the first milky toner. I believe it's the first milky toner. And if it's not the first milky toner I've tried, it's the only one I've liked. It feels like you are just taking water and moisturizer together and pushing it and inserting it into the deep layers of your face. For my wardrobe, I walked into my closet. I glanced around at my summer section, which is very, very tiny, my fall and winter section, which is not much bigger, and the things that immediately came to mind. For shoes, I only put down 3. I wore my denim flats so much this past year. I almost decluttered them because in the past I was wearing them with pants where you could see my whole foot, and it was just so weird. They're basically Mary Janes. And one day I decided, hey, why don't I wear them with long pants? Groundbreaking, right? With long pants, they're fantastic. They give really cool texture to an outfit. They're unexpected. I feel like they're my personality piece or even my dopamine piece. Someone else's dopamine won't be your dopamine. They're probably pretty tame for most people. And then my pink flats kind of gave me the same feeling. I just felt like my outfit was a bit more interesting when I put those on. So the pink flats they also have some cool texture to them, and they're pointed toed. The denim flats are more squarish round, so they do give a different feel. But I especially love the pink when my outfit is monochromatic. Then I just throw on some pink shoes if I just want a little fun, a little personality injected into my outfit. And then my Hokas. The Hokas are the shoe of the year. I'm not going to get into it. I talked about them in a vlog, but my feet are a bit weird. I tend to have heel slip. I was looking for a really good shoe for New York City. The Hoka's Clifton 10s are it. They're my favorite. When these wear out, I will get another pair. My back feels very supported. My legs feel very supported. I walked all around New York City. No blisters. Did not have to break them in. For lifestyle, I only have 2 things, and yes, one of them is coffee. So when I discovered the Nescafe espresso powder in the intense version, the blonde version's not my favorite. It does taste good, but I like my coffee to have some bite, a little kick to it. The older I get, the more into espresso I am. And hey, maybe my taste is off. Maybe you're watching this video thinking, you peasant, that is terrible coffee. It's not real coffee. Listen, I've gone through a lot of different coffee making machines and just different ways of making coffee in my life. I've settled on this. I enjoy it. I have a glass kettle. It heats up in about a minute. I boil that water. I put about 1.5 teaspoons of espresso powder. I put about that much water because, see, here's the thing. I like a thick coffee. I don't want watery. I like a creamy coffee, but I don't want watery, weak coffee. And I thought I would finish with this because if you have any health goals for the new year and you do not like going to a gym, you do not like the environment of a gym, you do not want to be in a gym, and you want to work out from home, these are the workout channels that I used most last year. The first one is Heather Robertson. If you get bored working out or you really enjoy compound movements or HIIT workouts or no repeat workouts, I understand sometimes repeating is good for your body. I do understand that. You know when you don't want to work out, but you're willing to do something if it doesn't suck all the way. Like it can suck a little bit, but you kind of need that compromise to get it done. A no repeat workout. The workout will work the same muscle groups over and over, but you only got to do that move one time and then you're moving on with your life. Those are my favorite workouts, and she has a ton of those on her channel. Her Metcon workouts, fantastic. So check her out. Also, Kenny Barnshaw. I think I'm saying that correctly. So her workouts are a little more kick your butt, but they're still fun. And I think that they are the middle ground of the Heather Robertson style workout and Caroline Gervin, which is the next one I'm going to talk about. You may go into it thinking this is going to be easy. No, it's not going to be easy. None of hers are going to be easy, but they will get results. Now, if you have body composition goals, muscle building goals, Caroline Gervin, the thing about her workouts, you will get results. They are fantastic. They're grueling in my opinion. It could be maybe I'm a baby. It could be me. They're kind of grueling, but she'll get it done. She will get it done. If you want to talk about your favorites from last year, you just got to tell somebody. I would love to hear about it. Leave it down below. It could even just be an experience, a vacation, or maybe last year sucked and you need somewhere to vent. That is okay. I want to hear about that too. So leave it down below, and thanks so much for watching.
Still rough around me.